Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion and this is Vanilla Mint Chapstick. If you're hearing noises, it's either my wash machine or my dryer. This is the crazy troll nation of YouTube. The crazy because I'm a little off sometimes. Seriously though, well yeah, that was being serious. Enjoying your channel and enjoying the channels that you watch. And knowing it's okay to just be your authentic self, whether you're serious, whether you're goofy, whether you're silly, whether you're a mix of all the above at different times or not, it is okay. The troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community's standard. You set the standard for yourself. Try not to feel like you need to use a certain brand or a certain tool or a certain technique. Use whatever you want to use, however you want to use it to get your makeup on the way that you want to. Here at the Crazy Troll Nation, it is about self-acceptance and self-love, embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, but not feeling like you have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even without face paint on. I do use foul language on my channel sometimes, because I do use foul language in real life sometimes. And so if you are here for the first time, thank you for visiting me. I appreciate you. And if you've been here before and you're back, thank you. Thank you for embracing my trollness. This video I'm really excited about. Base face is done. You saw me apply chapstick. You saw me prime my eyes. This is going to be my first look with the Mothman palette from Notoriously Morbid. And this is my first purchase from the brand. This comes completely off. So I'm going to, and it does have a mirror here. So I'm going to set that aside. The majority of these shades are either dual chromes or multi-chromes. And so I have no idea of what this look is going to look like. My plan is just to do a monochromatic look, which is not my preference, but because these are shifty shades, we'll see what's going to happen. And there's only two mattes in here. This one is a matte and this one. So all the rest are dual chromes or multi-chrome. And I think maybe two of them are just shimmers. And so this is going to be interesting. So my thought is to use this one, this, and this shade because they appear to be in the same color family. And I'm seeing something different. What is this one? This, looking at what you're seeing, this is orange. But when I look this way, it looks green. So that's why I got confused. Like, what am I seeing? This I'm seeing pink when I look here. But here I see orange. This I'm seeing yellow gold where you are, but when I look over, that looks pink. And so yeah, these are, this when I look here, it's a green, a deep green or a teal. When I'm looking where you are, it looks a lot lighter. So this is going to be very interesting. Wow. So I'm looking back and forth because what I'm seeing where you are is not what I'm seeing in person. Wow. And so let's just get started with this look. Now I'm kind of nervous because stuff shows up different. We're going to take 1966, this shade here, and we're going to put this, oh, this brush is fraying. We're going to put this right here. Oh, because these are light-based shades, I am wondering if they will look better over a dark base or layering them over a dark shadow, which there are none in this palette. This one does seem like a topper. This says it's a champagne gold sparkle shadow. I did print out the shade descriptions, and when I showed this in a haul video, I did go through what this shade descriptions were and asked if you wanted to see this palette swatched out on my face. So this does seem to be very much a topper, or maybe just for inner corner. So we're going to put that brush down. Sometimes I do just flip the brush over, but because these are all sparkly and I don't want to cross-contaminate, that's why we're just using completely clean brushes. And so now we're going to go into, I really don't know now. We're going to go into this one down here. And this is MILF Mothman I'd Like to Find. And this is described as a vibrant pink-based multi-chrome with sparkles that shifts gold, green, and pink. And so This is what that is looking like, and we're going to put that next to here. I do prefer the dark base multi-chromes, but looking at my collection, I do want things that add to my collection and that are unique to my collection, and this is definitely unique to my collection, and so that is why I purchased it. And I was curious about, that's pretty, the Notoriously Morbid formula. They do sell these as singles as well, and the retail value of this palette is $169.85. If you were to just buy just all of these shades on their own, this palette costs $70. I did find a code, a 15% off code, and then I had to pay for shipping. So minus the code and plus the shipping, I paid like $1 less than what the palette cost. And so instead of $70, I think I spent like 68 and some change, or 69 and some change. So this is not looking like what I thought. We're going back to the first brush, and I didn't have any expectations because I had no idea like what this is going to look like. But those two go nice together because they're both gold. And so over a dark base, putting this shade first half of the lid and this one on the second, I think that would look really nice. This is new for me. Going back to the second brush, because even doing this, the color is shifting, and so it's making it look like, okay, what color is it? Because I am seeing the pink and the gold, and it's looking kind of freaky to me because it's not one color. Can y'all tell I'm not used to this? But it is pretty though. So we're going to take a clean brush and we're going to go into, I want to take this one, but then I also want to use this one too, but I think that'll be too much, because also with multi-chromes and dual chromes, it's best just to use 1 or 2 on the lid so that you will see the shifts. For me, sometimes I do put on like 3 lid shades or 4 lid shades, and doing that, it means there's just a little piece of each shadow that you see, which if you're using multi-chromes or dual chromes and I'm putting on 4 shades, you're not going to see the shifts because you're just seeing that one little piece of shadow. So we're going to take this one here, which is Give Me Them Beans. Those beans. I forgot to show before on the back of the palette. Look at his butt. Like, this is just all right. So Give Me Them Beans is described as an amber brown based multi-chrome that shifts scarlet, burnt orange, Kelly green. And so we're going to, oh my Lord, we're going to put that over here. Ah, that goes. This is very interesting, and as you can see from my facial expression, like, I am excited. I like those two together too. And it didn't bother me that this palette only had 2 mattes in it, because the mattes I think that are in here go well with the palette. You have this mustardy shade here, and then you have this shade down here. And so I did not have any qualms of there needs to be more mattes. And I am known to really just use one palette for a look, unless it's a challenge or a certain color story. And so I will just be using just this palette. But if you felt it necessary to have other mattes, we have other mattes that we use for transition shade, brow bone, you know, whatever. I like this. I'm just not really liking this inner corner shade next to here. This side I like, so I think it's just how, this is a brush we use for the second shade. I think it's how this is blending right here, or not blending, or maybe it's just how the shifts are showing up right there. I like that better. So this is where we are. This looks funky. Like, this way it looks really nice. This way it looks funky. Like, what are these colors? And I like it because it looks funky. We're going to go back into the second shade, which was Mothman. I'd like to find, because I'm going to take that a little higher up right here on both sides. And we are going to use one of the transition shades, but I wanted to bring this up higher. And actually, we're going to sweep right here too. And so this is what we're doing with this. If you have this palette, let me know your thoughts on it. If you've done looks, or if you do get it and do looks, feel free to tag me, because I'm just curious. I've only seen one person use this palette, and I'm like, why are people, I don't know. This is the brush that had MILF on it, this shade down here. We're not adding any more shadow on here right now. We're just going to bring that up just a little higher, like we did that middle shade. And I think I will go back into it. So I'm going to tap lightly and just tap it right here. Yeah. And tap it right here. And so I'm trying to figure out like which matte in here I want to use for transition. I think I want to take, either one would go, to be honest with you. Either this one or this one. I'm thinking this one, but I love a mustard, so I want to do that. But I think this will go better with what we got going on. Or I can be funky and do first transition area and second transition area, but we're not. We're just going to take this shade here, which is deeper in person in the pan. And this is Booty Boy, and Booty Boy is just a medium cinnamon matte. So Booty Boy is real simple, straightforward, and to the point. And I'm using the tip of the brush just to get this here. Okay, that didn't do what I thought it was going to do. So we're going to small circular motions. I don't think I like this. I don't like this. So we tap the tip of the brush in the Booty Boy, and we're going to put that right here. I'm not liking Booty Boy up here, because you know why? It's blending in with these shades, and so it just looks like pink, like all the way up. So, but because we did that, we're going to do it on the other side, just so it'll look the same. Oh gosh, and it doesn't. I should have took that mustard shade. We're going to take the mustard shade, but before we take that mustard shade, we're going to go back with MILF Mothman I'd Like to Find, and we're going to tap some more on here, and we're going to tap that here. So we're tapping it over the outer transition area. Yeah, I'm not liking this look. I'm not liking Booty Boy up here. But I think by the time I finish, I think I might like it. It's definitely different, and I do like doing different things. And so in that sense, I'm liking it. Why is there like a funky little piece, a little patch right there? So this is what we're doing. It's not horrible. You know what I'm missing? I'm missing some type of definition in the crease area. That's what I'm missing, because it's all just blending together, which is fine if you like a purple, pinkish, gold look. So we're going to take a clean one, and we're going to go into Mason Monster, and this is described as a green tinged peanut matte. So we're going to see what this does. Oh Lord, we're going to start here and bring that over. That just really toned down Booty Boy. Booty Boy is easy. Like, he's just gone. He's like, you didn't want me here, I'm out. Oh my, this is an experience. I do really think, I'm not really liking that either, because now it looks like my skin tone. So now, like how this, you can see the color, like there's no color because it blends into my skin tone. I do think I'm gonna have fun with this palette, just figuring out combinations. And I do think just be simple, 1 or 2 shades on the lid and do a transition shade. But I am really missing having a shade to deepen up the transition area. That's what I'm really missing, because this is all just blending in, and even using the 2 mattes, one is just pink and this one is my skin tone. And so you see how even bringing this down, it just took away like all the color. So this will most likely be a companion palette for me, and I will go into something else for mattes. And I know I just said I don't like to do that, but I need some definition. I need something. because we took this shade all the way here, we're going to do the same thing over here. This just erases everything. This would be a good shade for blending out other stuff because this is just my skin tone. Like, it's like, what's happening? You still can see some of the shine beneath that shadow, but I need something else to happen. Let me see, what are we going to do? I'm going to take Red Eyes, Thick Thighs, this shade here. This is what I see when I look over here. And then this is this. And so we're going to take an Esom V33 and this shade, Red Eyes, Thick Thighs. This is described as a unique black base with red sparkles and multi-chrome shifting flakes that travels red, teal, and black. So we're going to just dip straight in. If I can get depth out of this, then I may not feel like, and we're just going to put that right here, that I need to go into another palette for mattes. I just need some definition here. And maybe even premonition would give me that just because it's not that pinky gold. But keep in mind, these are the shades that I chose for this look. And so if it's all pinky gold, it's because I chose pinky gold. And I did start out saying, it's going to be a monochromatic look. I am liking this better. I am liking that even though it is a multi-chrome, dual chrome, something multi-chrome with sparkles, because it's black based, it is giving me that depth. And so even though the shine, okay, I like this. Okay, I am just tapping in and tapping off, and not a lot is tapping off. So we're just going to run this right along this area here. Okay, so I'm taking back saying, I'm going to go into other palettes for mattes, not for this look, but for future looks. But I think I will experiment with these over a paint pot or a different type of shadow base. This I'm liking, and this right here, this is that murkiness that I like. Ooh, okay. All right, Mothman. Don't want to see you in real life. But now I'm liking it because it's breaking up some of the color here, but I do still think it's too many colors going on, and that's because I'm trying to fix what I didn't like. And so keep that in mind too, that even though this is getting murky, which I do like the murkiness, it is a lot going on. It is. I'm loving how this is looking, that mustard with this hint of whatever red or whatever, and then Red Eyes, Thick Thighs that we're applying now. And yeah, I like this shade because it does give me depth. This is all in real time. I am not editing anything because I want you to see my process with this palette for the first time. When I come back and do other looks, I may do like my regular eyeshadow looks to say, this is gonna go here, and do a couple swipes and then edit out and come back and do the next step. But for this one, this being my first time, I wanted to document this process here, and also for you to hear my thoughts as I'm applying it and what I think and how I feel about it. Everything is going on very well. I am not seeing any fallout on my face. I'm not. Everything went on really well, and even using a non-dense shader brush, those shades went on really well. This shade I am having to go back and forth a lot, and I don't know if it's because it is a sparkly shade or if it's because, I don't know. And it's not that it's a dry shadow or anything. And it might be because I am just tapping this way instead of, if I was using it for my lid, I would use a shader brush and actually swipe across it instead of just dabbing in it. So it's the way I'm applying it and the brush I'm using. I'm just trying to get this right here to look the same. My eyeshadow from one eye to the next never looks the same. I'm going to do some blending. I did not add extra shadow on the brush. And so we're just bringing this up just to have some more color in this puffy area that I have right here. But I do like this a lot better, putting the shade here. Let me know what you think. This is a very interesting palette, I think. And I'm going to go back to, oh gosh, I want to kind of take the pink up a little bit more. like this shade, because we brung this so low. So we're going to go back into Mothman. I like to find, as much as I keep saying I don't want it really pink, right? We're just going to take it on the bottom edge, just so when I look straight you can see it, because here you don't see any of it. But taking it up, which is why I take my lid shades into the transition area, when I look straight you can still see a hint of that lid shade. So here's the difference. Not taken up into transition area, lid shade taken up into transition area, because I do like my lid shades to be seen, even if it's just a little bit, and I do like that better. So we're going to do the same thing on the other eye, and this usually is my process, you know, just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and that's why I don't mind using different brushes, even if it's the same one. Like this is number 3 of this one that I've used for this look, because then I can just pick that brush back up with that same shade and apply more, instead of, you know, using a color switch. Or how for Red Eyes Thick Thighs, you know, we did blending without adding extra shadow on the brush. This I am liking. Oh, okay, this I am liking. So we're just blending this under, well, I should say on a line where Red Eyes Thick Thighs is. This is murky, muddy, intentionally, and I really like it. What are we going to do for lower lash line? That is going to be the question. What am I going to do? We're going to take a, what is this, gold? Yes, this is a gold because it's not really a color, and I'm trying to think of what shadow to put under here. So this is going to go here on our lower lash line on both eyes. I want to put something also on my lower waterline, but lately my eyes have been really sensitive because of allergies and pollen or whatever. But we're going to take Deep Purple. I think irritated my waterline before the last time I used it, so I don't want to do that. We're going to take gray, and I don't know if this really showed up on my lower waterline, but we're going to put this here because I want something else here. And so just find a line and run it over. Some people pull their lid down, and if that's what you need to do, by all means do that. I already have bags and wrinkles, and so I don't want to pull. And sometimes after I do this, because you see how it is pushing down on my bags, I will just kind of like push them back up. I don't know if it helps. So we're going to take, oh man, I'm looking in here, and we are going to take Premonitions, this shade here. And Premonitions is described as what? I'm taking up too much time. A dark steel gray satin shadow, and we're just going to stab the brush into the shadow, and we're going to tap off, and we're going to put that under here. I like this under here, and we're going to connect it to the edge of the outer corner. So that's, I like that. So we're stabbing it again, and we're going to put this here. I'm being careful so that it doesn't flake up and into my eye. I like this right here. I like that. So we're stabbing into it again, and we're going to put this under here. I put gel liner on my lower lash line because it gives the shadow something to stick to. I usually don't have problems though with shadow sticking under there, but it does seem to help the shadow not to puff up and then get into my eyes, which is an issue because my eyes start to tear, to flush the shadow out of my eye. And so it's not really a necessity. Sometimes I will just use a gel liner, and then I'll take a brush like this or a different type of smudger brush and just blend it out and not put shadow over it. But I like putting shadow over it because it does seem to intensify the shadow. And so however you want to do your makeup, I like that. And you can see how here it looks light and over here it looks dark, depending on how the light hits it. I like this. So what were we going to do? We're going to take this brush that we use for our transition shade. For what shade? Red Eyes, Thick Thighs. And we're just going to not add shadow on here, but we're just going to just blend. I don't know if it's going to do anything or not. And sometimes this is just a habit for me to do this. Sometimes it blows it down, blends the shadow down, excuse me, and sometimes it doesn't. I think it depends on how much is actually left in the brush. But it's just something I like to do. So that's it for the palette. And so again, I'm going to show you, we're not done with the look though. So this is the front of the palette. And this is the back of the palette. My only complaint still is if I sit it crooked when I store it, the lid may slide off. So that's my only complaint, is I have to be careful how I store it. So right now it's just sitting somewhere, not necessarily put away anywhere. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take, I wonder if this will show up. This is Midnight Snack Matte Fluid Line, and it's a gray. We're going to put this on our upper lash line, and then we're going to take Sills Booster Mascara Primer, up and bottom lashes, and we're also going to take Il Makiage Mascara for top and bottom lashes. And so we're going to do all of that, and then we will be right back. We're going to wipe off some chapstick, and then we are going to apply the Fenty Stunner, and this shade is in Underdog. This is the finished look, my first look with Notoriously Morbid's Mothman palette. I will say, you do need to like shimmers, dual chrome, and multi-chromes if you're going to get this palette, because there's only 2 mattes in here. But because of how this one did deepen up, which one was it? Oh my gosh. Oh, this one, you know, I don't mind having depth in my transition area and still have it be sparkly. So I am really enjoying this look. I'm gonna have to watch it back and write down what was where and then tweak it, because as you saw, I didn't like it at first, but as I kept adding more stuff and putting Red Eyes, Thick Thighs, this shade right here, that was the depth that I was looking for in my transition area. Would I like it a little deeper? Yes. And I do think I'll be able to get deeper looks, but I did choose lighter shades. And so these are the shades that I chose, and this is what we got my first time using it. It was a serious learning experience. And I am digging the look. I am digging the lower lash line. I'm digging the lip. And so I am excited to have this. And get a little cute little butt and beans. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts. And again, if you have this palette, let me know your thoughts on that, because I've only seen one video with this palette. And I'm just like, where is it on the YouTubes? So I'm going to go. Thank you for being here. As always, self-acceptance and self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you, and you will see me soon.